Hello, everybody, and hope you're having a happy and joyful Wednesday. It is once again F2 night here in the Midwest F1 League, and it is once again hosted slash casted by yours truly, Crash McQueen, that being I. Now, as per usual, if you have any questions in the chat, by all means let me know, and I'll be glad to answer them. We are, as you can see, in Suzuka, 5.807 kilometer circuit with 18 total turns, and of course it does have those curves and that crazy fast left-hander turn 15 into the hard braking zone of 16, 17, and 18, kind of similar to Spain in a way. Now of course I just got showed a video of, was it Nicky Lauda or Alain Prost driving the NXS. Oh, who was it? I shouldn't be googling things on the air, but screw it. Alain Prost. I think it's Alain Prost. NSX Suzuka. It's only a 2-minute video, but it's actually pretty fun. Yes, it is. It was Alain Prost. No, it was Ayrton Senna. Ow. Ow. And a heavy facepalm right out of the gate. Well, if I see an ad, you know what that means. Let's go, ad revenue. Just re-upped. Oh, love to see it. Love to see it. Do I need to re-up as well? No, that's a good... That reminds me too, Pork. See, I do need to re-up. I will do that tomorrow. And did you get the anti-vaping ads? Was that your ad there, Pork? We're just waiting for the lobby to get... Yeah, right. That's all I've been getting the last couple days. Anywho, Pork, have you shipped my stuff yet? My merch, man. I'm waiting on that. Got a lot of West Coast Canadians waiting for their order. Heard you guys were hella behind. R. Yeah, that's another very attractive turn. Plus, I mean, it's another infamous. Now, one of the notes that I do remember off by heart is Suzuka. Although we haven't printed anything yet. Super behind. Yes. Oh, for. Oh. Hey, Jen. Jen, you're racing this evening. I see. How many more people are we waiting for here? Oh, the Rob HD. Okay. So I'd be waiting on product too. Oh, for Christ's sake. Now, that's just a miscommunication between the sales staff and the warehouse. And that's not what you want to see when you have international customers waiting for their Midwest merch. It might as well be a Christmas gift by now, Pork. With international shipping, it's going to take 3 months for it to bloody well get to me. Even though it's only a, what, like 4-hour flight away. But, is what it is, I guess. Merry Christmas. Yeah, thank you. Are you gonna stuff my my box again? Are you gonna put some more stickers? I only have 2 stickers left. I've been very stingy with them. I've given a couple to Noganator, a couple to Dead Text Message. I've put one on my PlayStation. Have I? No, I haven't. Where did I put one? I cannot remember. Yes, more stickers. Cool. Where did I put one of these bad boys? Okay. Well, I'm gonna smack one on my PS5. I stickered up my PlayStation 4. I enjoyed that. I'm gonna do the same to my PlayStation 5. We'll start with that one. That'll be the first one. And since I have 2, it'll be the first one on the PlayStation 5 and the last one for the PlayStation 4. We finally got the lobby going here. Some decals are going to be in on this one of the new logo. Alright, cool. I dig. If you have anyone out there that's just tuned into the Midwest F1 League, by all means, shoot us a follow here. We're at 221. Our goal is 250 by the end of the season. If you can help us get there, that'd be very much appreciated. We are continually grow here, and I'd love for one day to start getting up to some higher numbers, but 221 is a good start. Just over a year we've been doing this, just over a year I've been doing this, and we're slowly progressing our way up and into the promised land. Dry. Fun stuff. Easy routine for me. Are we gonna stick on with AE Daltonian? Is that who you want? Pork, who do you wanna ride? Shelly the Turtle, maybe? I mean, we'll see what AE can do. Currently second, so taking turn 1 in a good. Okay. And he drops all the way down to 12th, down but not quite out. The Rob HD actually looking fairly good so far. Swinging our way through turn 5, and very pedestrianly coming through turn 6. Don't want to get too aggressive. You want to touch the curb, but you also don't want to touch the curb. Bacon, good to see you, my friend. Swinging around turn 9, we go. No, sorry, turn 8. Now under turn 9, under the bridge, up the figure 8. 130R just above there. Back a couple of meters here. Coming around the hairpin of turn 11, AE sitting in 9th place. The Garrisvac just ahead of him. Both were up at the tops for the first 2 turns, and that has since dissipated. Jinnit to win it back in 11th. Big pack. We know the pace that he can offer in 12th. Valentine not looking good in 14th. Maybe he might have spun out and is just trying to put me over a lap. Elma Jacko sitting 6th. Potage. That sounds about right. Potage in 3rd. Hotspot 2nd. Super Ninas 1st. Jose Miguel 4th. Rob HD has dropped back to 5th, but not all the way out. As A. Daltonian swings around through 130R, makes up a position on Darkness King. And then we come into the slow braking of 16, 17. Then you want to start gaining some speed as soon as possible. Get on the throttle early. Get tight to the wall though, because you are trying to set a fast lap, not setting yourself up for the next lap. And A. Daltonian didn't do that, but it didn't really kill him as the next person ahead of him was 6/10 ahead. Valentine does disqualify in the end. Very good qualifying from several of these drivers. We'll get up the full sheet in a second here, and we'll run through everyone except for Jin because he's slow. So we see Super Ninas taking pole by 0.02 of a second. That's something that I should have said. Very close between Super Ninas and Hotspot on the front row. Jose Miguel sitting 3rd. Potaye in 4th. I mean, he's Venezuelan, so you don't know how it's going to be pronounced. Elma Jacko in 5th. The Rob HD in 6th. Nikki alongside an American in 7th and 8th of A.E. Daltonian. The Garrisvac, a solo Canadian. In this race, in front of the Darkness King, or just Darkness King, in 10th. Jinnit to win it being slow. In 11th, Big Pack being not as quick as normal. In 12th, actually winning a race last time out in Austria. And the back of the pack, we see Shelly the Turtle and Valentine, the only driver not to set a time with its disqualification there. So we are underway here. We've now all gone around the track once, and we've seen the drivers in their one-shot qualifying, and you can't fully go off of a one-shot qualifying, as a minor mistake can mean the difference between first and 10th. So lots of ground to be made up. Jinnit to win it, of course, one of those men, to have the pace and the skill to be able to make up all that ground. We'll have to see if he can do it here once we get into the race. And Pork Chops is out. I need to biofreeze. Oh, biofreeze, damn. That's crazy. Well, rest up and have a good night, and hopefully I'll get my package before 2022. And here we go, Super Ninas and Hotspot led the way in qualifying, and Super Ninas is going to lead the way in the race. Hotspot can't contest into turn 1. Ninas goes way deep and offers it back to Hotspot. And now Hotspot just slides down the inside line with Ninas going way deep and wide. Jose Miguel in third. El Majaco already picking up a couple spots. Potage in fifth. We see a yellow flag, and that's the Rob HD losing some major positions. Unfortunately, Jinnit to win it in 13 as well. Super Ninas trying to hunt down Hotspot, but can't quite get close enough here. He's very close, though. Jose Miguel is trying to stay within the pack as well as El Majaco. Potage, we'll just go with that. Potage. In fifth, the second back of El Majaco, a couple positions, swapping as the Darkness King loses out several spots. And that is both the... No, it isn't. No. Oh, there's only one Trident in here. There's two Carlins, though. Yes, both the Yuki Tsunoda. And we go, Jose Miguel. Just outside of half a second, Super Ninas right on the caboose of Hotspot. Super showing some crazy good pace throughout this, but unfortunately there just has these little moments where he just loses it. And loses major and potentially far more points than what would be up coming through 130R here. Hotspot stretching the track a little bit more than Super Ninas did. I'm not sure if he'd get a penalty or a warning for that. Come down to the slow braking of turn 16, 17, and now the fast kind of a launch out of turn 18. That's a good word. Bring up the telemetry and lap data for all you lovely folks that are interested in that. A.E. Daltonian, the man that we're on with qualifying, is now 7th, picking up one position off the start, but Shelly the Turtle actually is the one who I should be more praising, as Shelly picking up 5 spots right out of the gate. Valentine 4 as well. Lagares Vac respectively 3. Valentine was 4, now is 3 with... Oh no, and there you go, Super Ninas has binned it and is completely out of the session. Ouch. Let's see, he's right in the middle of the track. And yeah, must be some deadly damage there. Lagares Vac and Shelly the Turtle each getting a... No, just Lagares Vac getting a penalty there for Shelly the Turtle hitting him. Wow, we already 8 seconds separates Lagares Vac and El Majaco. Hotspot has a nice 2-second lead on Jose Miguel now with Super Ninas DQing from the race. Zulandi shouting out the racers with good luck, and Jose Miguel now spins out. So now, and resets on track. I don't know what the rules are for F2, but in F1 that is a big no-no. Good to see you in chat, Zulandi. Thank you very much for stopping by. You got any predictions while you're here? Who do you think is going to take this one now? Super Ninas obviously was a favorite, but unfortunately crashed out just a couple of moments ago. But do you think maybe Jin can come from the back of the pack, or Shelly the Turtle making up 8 positions can go all the way up to the front? Or is Hotspot and El Majaco just going to pull away? Or is Jose Miguel actually going to bring back after that little spin in the safety car, or the VSC there, as the green track comes up? Jinnit gets an already draped all over Potage in 9th. A. Daltonian actually right alongside Big Pack here coming into turn 1. Swinging in our way around turn 2 as well. A. Daltonian's doing a good job of staying close to Big Pack. Dirty Eric can affect F2 car, but not too much as the F1 in my experience. I may be wrong, but that is what I feel when I'm driving the F2. Shelly the Turtle still within a half a second of the Lagares Vac. Big Pack not too far back as well for Shelly the Turtle, and he is closing the gap on the Turtle just ahead in that pink BWT. Long race in mud and he crashes out. Well, isn't that good for you in the championship standings? You're sitting third right now, Mr. Bacon. Oh, little heavy on the throttle and oversteer from Shelly the Turtle there. That's going to bring Big Pack right close as Shelly has fallen outside a second of... Can I get a better camera angle? This broadcast just like sometimes hates me. Nikki and Valentine battling it out. Looks like Nikki gets the better of Valentine there. No damage to Valentine's wing, so must have mistimed his corner, and Nikki was able to pounce. Come up the hill, as that could be a DRS. I'm not sure why that's not. There's probably some sort of reason. Shelly the Turtle goes out wide through 130R, also known as turn number 15, and we swing around. Ginatuin just blows through a traffic cone coming into the pit. Does Shelly have damage? I didn't see any damage from Shelly the Turtle. And Big Pack of the Garrisvac breakaway now are going to try and hunt down the drivers ahead. 3.5 seconds, 3 3/4 seconds separates Garrisvac and Jose Miguel. Quite a bit of gap to close down so early in the race. Pitting is very early here, and actually here, this is a good question that I'm going to ask myself. The other tire compound is the mediums for the F2s here. So we're just finishing up the S curves. Through turn 7, you're swinging around, you want to take a clean line through this and as much pace as possible, and then try and cut that turn a little bit better than what Garrisvac did, more of what Big Pack, and then do virtually the same for the next turn as well. A couple of pointed turns back to back, then we swing into the hairpin, and this is an opportunity for a pass. Big Pack kind of looks at it, but the Garrisvac takes an alternate line and cuts off the Big Pack on the way out. A. Daltonian has been able to catch back up to these two, with Garrisvac kind of slowing up the Big Pack, if anything, as that gap between Jose Miguel and the Garrisvac has kind of opened up a little bit, up to 4.1 seconds now, so I think the Garrisvac is actually slowing up the Pack here, so we'll see if Pack can get past. Hotspot has increased his lead to Jacko by 3 seconds now. Jose Miguel has slightly closed his to Jacko, down to 2 1/4. We'll give it to him. Valentine is still just on the outside of Nikki here. Hotspot taking fastest lap in the going on to his 5th lap actually, so on his 4th lap takes fastest lap, getting some heat in the tires and finding a little bit more comfortable position in his seat to take the fastest lap there. Big Pack was looking at 4th place. Actually, well, he would have it with the penalty to the Garrisvac right now, but looking at 4th place down into turn 1, opts out, slips in behind. Must not have got a good enough run through turn 18 to have a chance at the Garrisvac down into turn 1. Potage. That sounds good. Potage. Potage? I don't know if that's it though. I'll have to DM him after and ask how he'd like his name to be pronounced, because I have no clue. That can go many of ways in my eyes. Big Pack's still draped all over the Garrisvac, once again back taking a different line through turn 11. I think that used to have DRS in 19. Yeah, right? I think... There's, I wonder what the, I don't know the reason onto why there's not DRS there, because that looks like a very DRS kind of esque straight, and especially with there being only one other DRS zone on Suzuka. Maybe it's just they don't want you coming too fast through 130R. But I mean, you can already take that thing flat out anyway. But here we go, Big Pack gets a really good run out of turn 18 now, actually sets a quicker time, sets his fastest lap. And now has the inside lined up into turn 1. Get a pretty nice camera angle there as he is able to completely clear the Garrisvaca. And now let's see if he can open up that gap now. A couple pit stops, A. Daltonian, Jose Miguel, and El Majaco all swinging in as Jacko's looking at an undercut here on Hotspot. And he's going to really need to make it happen. And Hotspot's got to be weary. Let's check his splits here. Coming through Sector 2, he's only 2/10 slower than his initial fastest lap. So that's not too bad now. He is slowing down a little bit, but Sector... Okay, that was only Sector 1. Okay, so yeah. So 2/10 down through his Sector 1 time, or slower, we'll say. As that phrase can kind of go either way. Probably too fast especially. Yeah, I think so. That's probably it. It doesn't... There's probably not enough runoff, and I don't think they have gravel there. I'm pretty sure it's just tarmac and then a little bit of gravel by the end of the wall. It is quite a big runoff, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly pavement and then a little bit of gravel. Let's see, what do we see here? Yeah, so yeah, tarmac and then gravel. Well, the gravel is pretty big, but you know, I don't know. That's not up to me. That's why I just sit here and talk about what I see. I mean, I'm allowed to question things though, fair enough. Hotspot coming into the pit now, maybe trying to cover off the undercut. We'll see where El Majaco is. He did have complete open air ahead of him, and he still isn't even in Sector 3 yet. He's got Jose Miguel still 2.5 seconds back. Jinit to win and has closed the gap as well, and he's looking to move up after Nicky, Valentine, the Garrisvaca, and potentially Big Pack come into the pit. Jin's got to close the gap a little bit more though. Yellow flag there in Sector 2. That's Rob HD. Darkness King is really close to Shelly the Turtle here. So we got a tight little battle on track here. We swing through 130R. This is of course where Shelly went wide that one time around, lost a couple of positions, takes a far cleaner line this time through, and is able to actually open up the gap ever so slightly to Darkness King. And Darkness shouldn't have much of a shout, and he's actually going to come into the pit. So Hotspot actually puts out a really solid lap there, and Jacko can't quite close it, and Hotspot is in net lead with the 4 drivers ahead, still needing to pit. Now we'll see what the gap is from Jin to Big Pack. It looks like a shorter pit entry than most. Shelly the Turtle is spinning out around turn 6. And Shelly's collecting the car out of the grass, and it does have some left end plate damage there. I wonder where Big Pack is going to come out. Still on, all top 4 drivers are still on their softs they started the race with, and here we go. So Big Pack is in. Get on Jin. See what his splits are looking like. He's closed the gap to Jose Miguel now. He's potentially up for a podium here if he can overtake Jose Miguel, depending on where Big Pack comes out. Let's see where Big Pack is along his pit stop, and he's just leaving. So there goes the race leader. Second place swings through. Jin sets fastest lap and is closing the gap to Jose Miguel. They're both going to come out ahead of Big Pack, and Jin's just not close enough coming into turn 1 to get that for 3rd place. Now he knows for sure that he's battling for a podium here. We'll see what kind of defensive prowess Jose Miguel can bring to the very pesky and intimidating driver of Jin behind him here. Hotspot 4 seconds and ever so slightly growing here, and a comfortable gap between him and Jacko, but any sort of mistake will prove very bad. And okay, Jin was looking at the outside line, couldn't make it stick. Tire on the grass for a little bit, and Majaco's got to be a little bit, has to know. I mean, obviously he doesn't right now. Well, he can see that Jin's actually in 4th, so he's got to hope that these guys battle for a little while, because I think if Jin overtakes Jose Miguel fairly easily or fairly soon, then he's got a lot of laps to try and close that gap to Jacko. Jin and Jose Miguel are teammates, technically, but kind of not really. Oh, thank you for those that just recently followed as well. Dum Head, that being me. Tono and the Rob HD actually giving us some follows, so very much appreciated. Oh, and Shelly the Turtle crashes out, coming out over kind of a peculiar spot in deep turn 7, and I don't think we're going to be able to get a car around there and close enough to Shelly to see, yeah, Shelly's car is taken off track. Yeah, thank you for the 2 new follows. That puts us at whatever that number is on your screen. So 223, I think it says. Yeah, so 89% of the way to our follower goal. So yeah, we're getting there, Thank you. And there we go, coming through the S's. Jin is still all over Jose Miguel. Now, of course, last lap we came around here. Jin was very close, swinging around turn 7 here, so Jose Miguel go. Jose takes a lot cleaner of a line here, so no real threat coming in to turn 8 and now into turn 9. Jose once again doing a good enough job. He is closing the gap to Alma Jacko, as Jacko is actually opening it more. Or sorry, Hotspot is opening up a 5-second gap now to Alma Jacko. Was for a second this time last around the track, but now Hotspot's finding a little bit more heat in those tires, and he's got a clean road up ahead. He's got virtually 2 free sectors of raceway up ahead of him, so nothing but clean air to drive. He's coming through 130R. We'll take a peek at his racing lines here, as he's nearly half a second up on his initial fastest lap. So we'll see if this is quick enough to take overall fastest lap. And just barely by a very tight margin. There you go. Jin actually takes fastest lap right back, and now he's got it into turn 1 here alongside his Carlin teammate down the inside line, and now goes a little bit deep through turn 2, but Jose Miguel can't quite get along past, and now Jin surely will be able to break away and close that gap to Alma Jacko. And we'll see what the battle of Jacko and Jin brings us this evening, because we have seen it quite a bit in the past. Didn't have a wing, couldn't brake in the gravel, barely hit the wall with my wheel. Now, don't you wish you had a flashback at that point? But I say that, and I know that you shouldn't, because now from personal experiences, I actually, when I first started playing this game in 2019, I bought it at the end of 2018, played a little bit of 2018, bought 2019 brand new. I played the shit out of 2019. As we got Rob HD spun out now, and a safety car. Oh, that's big. So that is big. Huge for Jacko, because that brings him close to Hotspot, but now he's got Jin behind him. Huge for Jose Miguel, as Jin wasn't going to break away too far. Kind of big for Jin, because now it is big for Jin, because he's got a potential chance of winning this race now, as he is one of the quickest drivers on track, actually the quickest driver on track, setting and holding the fastest lap currently. Yeah, so 2019, as I don't know how far along I went with my thought. Oh, Jin's actually coming into the pit here. Bold move, Cotton, as they say. How old are these tires? 6 laps old. So big pack, only with 2 lap old mediums here, as Jin slowly falls down the pack. Should come out ahead of Valentine. Jin taking the gamble here. Actually, will he come out ahead of Valentine? I don't think he will. No, Valentine actually takes his 7th place as well, so Jin is going to come out all the way in 8th. But now on fresh softs. Fresh as fresh can be. Okay, now once again, to get back to my story. I played all of F1 2019 and a little bit of F1 2020 without knowing that flashbacks were in the game. I just always, whenever I crashed out, I was just retired. And I was just choked. I just retire, that's it. Retire. Bang. Okay, retire. So then, when I learned that there was flashbacks, I got faster because I was more interested in taking quicker lines and not caring about crashing. But now that I don't care about crash, I crash all the time, and I just use flashbacks, and it's just not good. It's just an unhealthy cycle that I've gone through, and I need to try and get to the point where it's like I forget, I don't know that there's flashbacks in the game because I just use them all the time. It's just like that's not that's not the quality of driver that I actually am though. I just like ripping and then crashing and then like, yeah, I'll just retry that corner. And then ripping and then crashing. There's a bug on the road. I can't have that. Flashback. Yeah. I did pretty good though, and I never even knew. And we're actually looking like we're not even gonna have DRS for the rest of this race here, and potentially looking that Potage won't even be able to catch the pack by the time we get going here. He's very far back, and virtually on the other side of the track compared to the rest of the group. You know, it's kind of funny how like stupid that is for me to not know that was in the game for 2 years that I was playing the game. And this is coming from a guy who's also found multiple glitches in FIFA and has exploited them like ridiculously until they patched them. Like in career mode in FIFA, I don't know how much you've ever played, or all those out here that are watching this evening have ever played FIFA career mode. But there's one thing that I figured out in FIFA career, that at the end of the year, when you need to sign back players, and if you need to save money to be able to sign them back, or you can sign them back early. But when you do that, you don't have the money to sign other players. And so for me, I figured out that you don't have to have money. You can have $0 and 0 cents in your bank account, and you can still sign back these players to million dollar contracts. And all you had to do was delegate to assistant manager or whatever it is. So that's all I would do, is that I would just blow all my money, buy as many players, even if I didn't need them, I would just buy them. And just so I can like flip them or get that money for next year, or just to use up that money, or get some sort of prospect or whatever. I just use up every cent that I had, and then I just delegate, and then just get all this free money to sign back my players. And that was the one glitch, but they had that in for like 3 or 4 years until they finally patched it like 2 years ago. Woe is me. Actually, I think it only was last year, FIFA 2020, that they finally patched it. So yeah. If you're ever playing FIFA 19 and you're having trouble signing back your players, or even FIFA 18, I can't remember what year they patched it, but yeah, just use that glitch. It's helpful. I remember doing the same thing in an old baseball game. You would draft all the prospects, I'm assuming you're saying, and get in the same team because the trade system was broken. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like in NHL. You could in NHL for the longest time. You could just easily OP your team like right out of the gate, like because the trade system was so stupid and like easy. You can take like a 65 overall guy, trade him for a 67, trade that 67 for a 69, 69 for a 70, 70 for a 71, and then just go up by 1 overall increments until you just get the best players in the game, and you just like, it always works, always get it. And then they finally made like a better trade value system. And yeah, like I said, we are going to have 2 laps. I was wrong in Podage catching the pack, as there he is. Get on board with the man in the Felipe Drugovich car. We come through 130R for the 3rd last time in the feature race here. Safety car is in, correct? Yeah, safety car comes into the pit there. Hotspot backs up the pack a little bit and doesn't have much time, and didn't leave himself much time to try and mistime some of the drivers here. A. Daltonian and the Garris Vac are going to go wheel to wheel, and what the? A. Daltonian just launches through the screen, or launches by the screen, and just blows past turn 1 and bombs into the pit at the end of the straight. Elmo Jacko still in second, Jinna Twin picking up a spot, and actually taking 2 spots now with A. Daltonian and Valentine. So Jin's got some work to do here and not too many laps left to do it. The Garris Vac is ahead on the freshest of mediums, and Vac is going to make it difficult on Jin, but Jin swings around turn 9 through the fake turn of turn 10. Jin taking an alternate line through the hairpin. Fun little turn that is, but can't get that good of a launch. He's really going to need to time these next 2 turns and potentially overtake before turn 15. No DRS is really going to hurt Jin here, but these fresh tires are going to help him get a really good launch, and that's what it looks like he's done. He's already on the back of the Garris Vac here, not too far away. He's in the slipstream, but I don't think he's going to get close enough coming through 130R, and he actually backs out. Garris Vac goes deep, and Jin thought about a dive, but it just wasn't up, and Garris Vac, feeling the presence of Jin, comes back on track and punts Jin out of the way, and Jin's down in 8th place now. That is not what you want to see. And that really hurts Jin. And Jin actually blocks out Potage as he's driving angry, for sure. I love how sports games are supposed to be realistic, but everyone finds a way. Oh yeah, and their overall systems, like, or their difficulty systems are also janky and broken. Like NHL, Jin gets an overtake on Nikki. Nikki pulls off to the side. Valentine blocks Jin into turn 8, and then Jin fights his way down alongside turn 9. And now, oh, a little bit of contact there. Not sure where that came from. As Potage actually sent it down the inside line into turn 11. Didn't get on board with him, and now they're wheel to wheel. Potage sending it around the outside as his softs are 6 laps old. They're a little bit deep there, but he's still doing a good job. Nicky's really on the back of him, and we got 4 cars very tightly battled. I'd say closer than the top pack here, with Big Pack being the last of them, with a penalty, unfortunately, that being 5 seconds. So he's potentially going to drop back behind the Garris Vac. Coming through the final couple of turns here, hotspot virtually uncontested from beginning to end. Maybe a little bit of heat into turn 1 after the restart, but that is about it. Comes over the line with the win. Elmo Jacko, 777 behind Jose Miguel, getting his first podium, I believe, in the Midwest F1 League. The Garris Vac in 4th, Big Pack in 5th. Nicky bins it in turn 15 there. Darkness King finishing up the final couple turns. Last 2 finish. Nicky will, of course, get some points, but does crash out. Yes, yes. Driver of the day. the livid Jinnit to win it. Jin, are you still in chat? Can you hear me? There we go, Hotspot celebrating his win. Jacko with some solid points in second. Third place going to Big Pack with another podium, and I think that's back-to-back podiums and back-to-back races. So very well done from him, and don't go anywhere. We've still got the sprint race in F2 here. I'm not sure how long it'll be. Probably about 9 or 10 laps, I'd imagine. Here we go. Once again, we see Hotspot with the dub. Elma Jacko in second, Jose Miguel third. Who's pole? Super Ninas was pole. Oh yeah, Super Ninas was out pretty much that whole race. Christ. Jose Miguel in third. Gersvac fourth. Big Pack fifth. Jinnit in sixth. Potage in seventh. Valentine, the Darkness King, and Nikki rounding out the top 10. A Daltonian will get points being 2 laps down. In 11th, the Rob HD 12th. Rob HG DNF. Shelly the Turtle DNF, and Super Ninas DNF. Let's see the instance here. Got penalties. So the Gersvac got a 5 second. Potage got a 5 second. Big Pack of Valentine 3 seconds to Shelly the Turtle, and then didn't mean anything as Shelly DNF'd. And Big Pack of Valentine with penalties at the end of the race. So a little bit of tussling in the final couple corners led to Nikki's demise and unfortunate crash. But like I said, still got in points, so not too bad, is what it is. And as well, the problem with sports games now is that they're so hyper dominated by one brand. FIFA has minimal competition in PES. Yeah, whatever. And then NHL has zero competition anymore. Ever since 2K stepped out, then it's just only been Shell. MLB The Show. MLB actually does. San Diego Studios actually does a pretty good job with MLB The Show. I'll give them that. They don't really have much competition. RBI Baseball, but that's ass. Super Mega Baseball or whatever it is, but that's a completely different kind of baseball, so that's not really much competition. I mean, Madden, zero competition. I don't know, what other Madden games were there? I'm pretty sure Madden or NFL has only really been EA. I'm sure there was some sort of other, I mean, of course, NFL Street and whatnot, but like realistic NFL games. I don't know how many other. Of course, there's that arcade game. That was fun. Used to play that all the time at the hockey rink. What else? Missing a sport. NBA, 2K. 2K just dominates it. I mean, you can't compete with the big brands that have exclusive rights to the teams. Yeah, but weirdly enough, is that in FIFA, PES has bought the exclusive rights to Roma, Juventus, and Barcelona Stadium. So Barcelona plays in this like janky looking stadium. Yeah, San Diego Studios yeah, they do a good job with MLB, that's for sure. They go absolutely buck wild with the 99 overall players in the game, but I mean, that's just whatever, I guess. There's so many 99 overall players in the game, and they're all different. It's like, I don't know. But anywho, we continue onward here. Potage has the lead into turn 1. Valentine sends it deep. Jin's got the inside line. Someone just absolutely pisses right off the track. Launches off the side. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Darkness King. As I try to shake these set cups. Coming through the S curves. A couple positions gained, a couple positions lost. Most notable would be Valentine losing 3, Elma Jacko up 2, the Gersvac virtually taking the spot of Elma Jacko in 7th, with Jacko taking back spot in 5th. 3 positions gained by Super Ninas as he tries to regain what? Oh, and Potage is unfortunately out of this race. Sector 1, Sector 2, and a VSC, there she goes. Tono, what a great win for Campo's team. Yes, very good. Very good point. We'll see what Hotspot or Valentine can do here. Valentine being in. Wait, no. Yes, okay, these Campos. It's Potage, that's MP. So yeah, the other Campos driver here currently sitting in a podium position as well. Just wanted to see what he can do. But of course he's got El Majaco, Jose Miguel, Hotspot all behind him, so several quick drivers behind and a couple quick drivers ahead as well, so we'll see how this one turns out. Potage, unfortunately, getting the raw end of the deal there, and is back down 14th with the DNF, and his sprint is unfortunately it. Now we got to be careful here, everyone. Don't be in the red. No, don't want any drive-through penalties. The VSC is about to end here. And there we go. Anyone? No, no one gets drive-through penalties. And Valentine gets punted through the turn by El Majaco, and Jacko breaks some of his wing. Valentine comes back, but Jacko's sitting in third and ends up taking the position. Super Ninas getting a position on the Rob HG, and then looking at the inside line of A. Daltonian there. And whoa, crashes galore there. Valentine, unfortunately, the other Campos driver that I was talking about, is all the way back in the back of the pack. Now last place is where he sits. Super Ninas as well going off course, and all that time and positions that he made up is all for naught as he's back in 11th now. Jinit Twin's got a clear field ahead of him and is now nearly 2 seconds ahead of the Big Pack already, or just Big Pack. I always put the in front of people's names for whatever reason. A. Daltonian trying to overtake the bot car of the Gareth Vax. Bot is defending well, and annoyingly so for A. Daltonian. AE should be able to get past him here into the slipstream. Come up the hill, you can see 130R in the distance. A. Daltonian's got the inside line, and he's going to shove that bot right outside. Nicky going absolutely buck wild through 130R, breaks super deep. He wants to get alongside the bot here, and yes he does. Jinit to win it, setting the fastest lap, and the Gareth Vax bot is not giving in. And now Shelly the Turtle is very much close to these two drivers. DRS will be open next lap. Into the slipstream goes Nicky. Gareth Vax bot nearly pinches him out on the outside there. Nicky breaks deep and sends it around the outside. Shelly the Turtle as well sending it around the outside. A little bit of contact as the Gareth Vax bot comes right back at him. Bot Vac. The Gareth bot. There we go. That's better. And oh, and then contact between the bot and Shelly the Turtle results in a yellow flag in Sector 1, and Shelly the Turtle being spun out and back in 11th place. Super Ninas now gets a couple positions back into 9th, as he is going to try and tango with the Garrus bot. And oh, looks at the inside line, but chooses not. Nicky going deep out of turn 9 here, and Super, come on, yes, yeah, dive down, yeah. Beautiful stuff by the Garrus bot. Or sorry, Super Nice. Garrus bot unfortunately losing a couple of positions in these last couple of... Actually, no, he's sitting in just one position back with the spin out of Shelly the Turtle. The Rob HD, though, I think that's a bot as well. Yes, it is. It is back at 10th. Oh, and El Majaco is very close. Very close to Big Pack here. He's got the inside line coming through 130R. Both drivers do good to give you enough space and having solid pace coming through the turn. Jacko's got second place. Jinit to win it has now grown his gap up to nearly 3 seconds. Jacko gets a really good run out of turn 18, and even with the DRS with Big Pack, Jacko won't be able to, Big Pack won't be able to close the gap to Jacko, with Jacko getting such a good run out of turn 18. And that surely is one of his strengths, is when he's being on the defense, he needs a good launch out of a turn. He seems to always get it very good on the throttle, exiting a turn when leading. Of course, it is more difficult having the dirty air to cope with when you're behind, but Jacko, with the pressure, does very well. Shelly the Turtle DNFing in the pits. That's not what you want to see, unfortunately so for Shelly. 10 drivers remain here for DNF through the first 4 laps. Sector 3 yellow flag, that being Charlie the Turtle's DNF, and retirement should come up and out fairly soon. Bots, man. Yeah, the garage bot. Report him. I'll give him an LPP. I don't care. Jose Miguel. Very close to Big Pack, as Big Pack hasn't lost that gap to Jacko at all, really. Jose Miguel now around turn 15, also known as 130R, trying to close that gap to Big Pack and Elma Jacko, wanting that podium. Hotspot as well, just behind these two drivers. Jin sets the fastest lap once again as he continually opens that gap. But Suzuka, very difficult track to overtake, is proving so for Big Pack here as he just stays so close to Jacko, but just can't get it. And now it's very tight to him, finishing up through turn 2. Jacko opens it back up through turn 3, and if he closes back down through turn 4 and 5. Swinging around one of the final turns in the SS, the final right to be exact. Turn 6 coming up the hill through turn 7, taking a fairly clean line, both of the drivers, as we swing deep around the outside of that looping left-hander, and trying to take this turn with as much pace as possible, as well as this one, but you want a good launch out, and that's what Jacko gets. Jose Miguel actually closing the gap a little bit on Big Pack behind. We'll get on board with him. Maybe we'll get a decent broadcasting view here. Seeing Jose Miguel exit the hairpin. Hotspot very close to Jose Miguel. We're coming down through the twisting turn 12. Back up into the quick left-handers of 13, 14. Hotspot so very close to Jose Miguel, as well as Jose Miguel very close to Big Pack. But Hotspot gets a really good run out of turn 14 here. He's into the slipstream, thinks he can get alongside of him, and just no, he can't and has to back out. Jose Miguel just holding on to 4th place. And here we go, Hotspot. He's going to send it down the inside line. Jose's forced to give way. Jose's still alongside. A little bit of contact between the two drivers, but Hotspot surely was the quicker driver and had the track position. Both drivers do get DRS. Jose does get a better launch out of turn 18, so now Hotspot might be under a little bit of pressure here into turn 1. Elma Jacko is under a little bit of pressure, and Jose Miguel switches him back, and Hotspot closes the door. Once again, a little bit of contact, but nothing too much. Big Pack still draped all over Elma Jacko here. Very tight these two drivers are, swinging around the S's. Now Hotspot's going to try and close that gap so he can get into the podium. And A. Daltonian, I didn't know if that was Super Ninas's cause or if there was something else that happened for him to spin out, but Super was very close to AE when he did end up spinning out there through turn 5. I think that was around, or actually he was going in left, so it would have been entering turn 6. Hotspot has closed that gap back down, and Jose Miguel gets an oversteer around that hairpin of turn 11. And now unfortunately he's the second out and needs to try and close that gap to get back on the DRS train and not lose out and have a potential chance of coming back. We are on lap 6, completely on the opposite end of the racetrack to the starting gate. We are swinging our way through these laps. We have 6 more to go. Or no, 5 more to go, sorry. That's math. 5 full laps to go. Only so many times through 130R are left. Hotspot's trying to get a double podium here. He's looking very good to do so. Jacko as well is looking to get a double podium, but he's got 2 very quick and hungry drivers just behind him here, so we can't guarantee him a podium. On to lap 7 we go. Hotspot was a half a second quicker there than his initial fastest lap, so he's finding some solid pace here. Jacko's just holding back Big Pack as much as he can. Frustrating Pack quite a bit, I could imagine. But yes, if you're new to the Midwest F1 League and you're just stumbled upon the stream, thank you very much for tuning in. This is our Formula 2 action that goes every Wednesday night, hosted by yours truly, Crash McQueen. I bring you almost some of the Midwest action, but what you can see, all of it is on the YouTube channel, so everything that it comes through the Midwest F1 League gets posted right up through there, so go check that out when you have a chance. Just do !YouTube and a link will bring you right to our page, or you can just go to YouTube and search out Midwest F1 League and that will be brought up for you, as well as our Instagram and Twitter page. Those have our standings and race pictures posted by the drivers themselves, so go check that out if you're interested in that all as well. Hotspot sending a little bit deep, speaking of, so Hotspot is the caster for Division 3, so go check what he has to do on YouTube. That is a very different product than what I do on Twitch here. My VODs get sent to YouTube, but Hotspot edits and sends his right up to YouTube. So very different products, both very good. Hotspot does a great job, and he looks down the inside line, but kind of a little bit over ambitious. Super Nias getting a penalty, and Big Pack and Elma Jack were once again so very close through that turn, and Hotspot nearly made some contact. We swing onto lap 8. 4 full laps to go here. Jinit Twinit has led this thing through the entire race, and now he's at about an 8-second gap to the driver behind, or the drivers behind that are in a battle. 2 of those are on the podium, one sits out, and that being Hotspot. Hotspot's really trying to get himself back onto the podium, but the MP Motorsport and the high-tech Art. The MP Motorsport and the Art cars, represented by Jacqueline Big Pack, are in between him and that. Mainly Big Pack, but I'm sure he'd love to have second place. Jin's been virtually uncontested through this whole race. Oh, a little mistake from Big Pack there. Now he's going to have Hotspot right alongside of him. Oh, and a little bit of contact with Hotspot and Jacko there. Doesn't lose a wing. And now Jose Miguel's right back as he's closed the gap back. Hotspot is on 3rd place. Big Pack is back and forth after making that mistake through turn 9. We should swing around to 13 and 14. How good of a run does Big Pack get? Not too big of a difference between these 2 drivers. Hotspot's going to hold 3rd place coming through 130R. Big Pack's going to be kicking himself, holding back Hotspot for so many laps and making one mistake, and now getting a little bit overzealous through turn 16 and loses a little bit of time here. But does Hotspot have enough pace coming out of turn 18? It's going to be very close. He's into the slipstream, has DRS, goes and looks at the inside line, but it might have been to slow himself up, so he didn't make contact in the back of Jacko as we swing through turn 2 of the S curves. On to lap 9 here. Jinit is just finishing up the S curves up ahead. Can't see him on your screens there because he's so far up the road to the drivers in 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd to 5th to be more exact, as all these drivers are very close. Super Ninas is closing the gap as well to the drivers ahead. Every second that they're battling is every second that Super Ninas is gaining back behind, and he can see all 4 drivers. He can smell a potential podium. Now he does have 3 seconds worth of penalties, and Big Pack and Jose Miguel were once again very close, entering into the hairpin, but nothing quite going. It all depends on who gets a really good run on a corner when one driver gets a really bad run on a corner. And that's exactly what happened for Hotspot to get the position on Big Pack. Now, if this race went a lot of laps, a lot more than just 11, then this would be a very crazy battle to witness for multiple laps. But unfortunately, this will have to come to an end, and there will only be 2 of these 4 drivers on the podium. Jose Miguel, of course, outside looking in. Really, Big Pack had it for a moment and then lost it in a blink of an eye. And now, maybe these tires are starting to go a little bit here. So Jose Miguel gets some oversteer, and Big Pack must have gotten a little bit of oversteer as well, as these 2 are dragging down the pit straight into turn 1. They're very neck and neck, just so very tight, and Jose Miguel gets the position just ahead of Big Pack, and Big Pack looks at the switchback, but unfortunately Big Pack falls back into 5th place. Jose Miguel jumping back up after spinning out in the feature race and losing several positions. Has a chance for at least one podium here this evening, but he's got Hotspot, the winner of the feature race, up ahead of him. Jinnit to win it is still firmly holding on to this race, 11.5 seconds up the road. Virtually has this one wrapped up in a nice little bow. And oh, Hotspot sticking his nose down alongside Jacko's left rear tire there, coming through the hairpin. There's multiple angles that you can come through that turn in. Hotspot chose a much tighter line down the inside compared to Jacko's down through the middle. And now we're looking at a really good run of turn 14. But it looks like Hotspot was just getting a little bit too close. He's going to get in the slipstream, close the gap a little bit, but straight's not long enough. He's got to be able to time it coming through 130R with that extra pace, and he actually holds off quite a bit. And now it's all about the timing, as this is potentially his last true opportunity here. But Jacko once again gets such a good run out onto a long straight. It makes it for Hotspot's job very difficult to try and overtake Jacko now, as he's not even going to come close into turn 1, swinging around turn 2, entering the S curves. Jacko still holding on to second place, as he's looking at a double second place race or evening here, with Hotspot as well looking at a double podium. Jinnit to win it. Not the race he was hoping for in the feature, but will surely get the win in the sprint, as he's been in a class of his own. 12 seconds up the road, virtually extending his lead a second a lap to the drivers behind. And he's gonna just come with a nice routine win, as routine a win can be, not contested much at all. And unfortunately Nicky spinning out at the worst time, comes back on track, blocks off the bot of the garage back. And if you're going to do it anytime, do it there, right? Especially when he's got 2 bots behind you, actually. But we're on to Sector 2 as the lead pack. Jin is the only driver on the track on Sector 3. And then the same thing can be said to A. Daltoni being the only driver on track in Sector 1. But it's going to be Jinnit to win its sprint race, leading 95% of the bloody thing. He's going to come over the line for the win. Tries to wreck the car. Hotspot once again so very close to Jacko, but just can't get past him here. Jose Miguel won't be able to overtake as well. Big Pack is really close on the back of Jose Miguel. It's a little bit of a drag to the finish, but Jose Miguel takes the tighter line. Super Nias with the penalty, and he was actually, he was a second back of Big Pack in the end with this penalty. Nicky is the last of, sorry, A. Daltonian is the last of the human drivers. Nicky's got 3 seconds worth of penalties though. He's got the AI behind him, so he's going to drop back into 9th place. A. Daltonian will be in 10th. GG's to all. Well done, well done. But tomorrow evening you can see a couple of these drivers here in Division 1 come back, where I can host alongside Elma Jacko as we come back here to represent Division 1 racing at Suzuka as well. So come check us out. Same time tomorrow, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern is when we get her going. So come check it out for a little bit of the intro into what is a fun stream. But we come over the line with A. Daltonian finishing it up. We'll get to the podium, get a little bit of a farewell massage, and then we'll get on to our way into tomorrow night's race. Super Nino's getting driver of the day, making up quite a bit of positions. There we go, we see our podium. That's so stupid, I don't know why that made me laugh. Jin gets the win. Jinnit did win it. Elma Jacko doing a double second place. And Hotspot doing a double podium, 1st and 3rd. Slightly different, but all the same. No. Yeah, I think he gets one more point than Jacko does, so that's how different it is. And there we go, we'll look at the sprint race results. We see Jin Tuin taking the Zevin, Elman Jacko going 7th to 2nd, Hotspot 8th to 3rd, Jose Miguel and Big Pack, his fellow Mexican friend. Oh, I mean, I don't know if they were friends. In 4th and 5th, Super Ninas alongside his Bertuzzi teammate, the Garrus Bot in 7th, the Rob HD in 8th, Nikki in 9th, A Daltonian in 10th. DNFs goes to Shelly the Turtle, Valentine, Darkness King, and Potaye. That sounds fun to say. Hotspot with the win in the feature race, Jacko getting his first podium of the evening in that race, Jose Miguel getting a podium there. Almost having a double podium actually. Garrus Vac going 4th, Big Pack 5th, Jin to win at 6th, Potage in 7th, Valentine 8th, the Darkness King in 9th, Nikki in 10th, A Daltonian finishing in 11th, and DNFs to Rob HD, Shelly the Turtle, and Super Ninas in that race. But yes, that is it for us. Come back tomorrow and see us race at Japan once again, as we can go all the way through the S-Curves 1030R and check out what these drivers can do in the F1 cars. A lot of your familiar faces will be there, as long as your familiar voices, myself included. So you have a good rest of your Wednesday evening and your Thursday morning / afternoon until I can catch back up with you then. Thanks for stopping in as per usual, and everyone have a good night.